There's a Republican primary June 28th, 2022. It's actually a primary for Democrats and Republicans, but in Archuleta County, there seem to be no Democrats whatsoever since no Democrats ran for any office whatsoever. Now, the Republican primary, it's going to be over in 17 days. Archuleta County, County Commissioner number 3. You got Alvin Schaaf. He's the Republican incumbent who's been in there for 3.5 years, and he's running up against Veronica Medina, a Republican challenger. So for the immediate future, in the next 17 days, that's the big race between Alvin Schaaf and Veronica Medina. Both of them are on YouTube. Both of them are being interviewed by this guy, Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin of something or another, some real estate guy who does, a couple. Every once in a while, he'll do an interview or something. So I'm not sure. He's a real estate guy, so this is all just, marketing and what have you. But it gives him some influence because he's the one that's actually asking the politician questions. And he's only been in town for like a year or something, so.
So I know you've been on the commissioners for 3.5, 4 years now. So what are some of the biggest struggles you think the county is facing right now, and biggest issues, biggest problems, and how are we going to solve those?
Well, the biggest problem is the housing. I mean, and I think that's nationwide. I think everybody is struggling. Especially with COVID, everybody's wanting to leave the big cities and all the restrictions, and I understand that. I do. So housing is our number one, and I think second, in my opinion, right now would be the lack of gravel.
So there you go. The lack of gravel and the lack of housing is the two biggest problems for Archuleta County, according to Alvin Schaaf. The top 3 issues for Veronica Medina is water, schools, and roads. Again, that's water, schools, and roads. Those are the top 3 issues for Veronica Medina. For Rachel Sunshine, I think she said she wanted amazing grant writers, but her 3 biggest issues was the health department and law enforcement and education. So off the top, he said to call him up and he'd talk to me, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to talk to Alvin Schaaf or not, because I was wanting to talk about the restaurants. So there's Rosie's. I think these are all, you got Boss Hogs, Rosie's Pizzeria, Chevolos Taqueria, Thai Pagosa, Los Dos Charros, Sage Malt Shop. Is that like an ice cream place? A malt shop, airfield. They got some kind of airfield, airport. They got 7530, the Eatery, Yamaguchi Park. You can get Smokin' Joe's, some of his Unreal Barbecue, and go to Yamaguchi Park. I think Old Miner Steak and Chop House, Elk Trace Bed and Breakfast, Alley House Grill, City Hall Cafe and Grill, The Lost Cajun, Mountain Pizza, Meltdown on Main, Kip's Grill, and Junction Restaurant. I'd like to ask, what's good there? What's good to eat? Rachel Sunshine, she says she's an anarchist. That's interesting, isn't it? There's also a competitive sheriff's race in Archuleta County with Mike LaRue versus Boyd Neagle, 2 Republicans. So Boyd Neagle and Mike LaRue are, battling it out for the sheriff, and you have Veronica Medina and Alvin Schaaf battling out for County Commissioner, District number 3, Archuleta County. Now, the county commissioners are the triumvirate of the county. They are the 3 top leaders. The sheriff has a bunch of power and prestige, but technically speaking, the 3 county commissioners are the head of the executive branch and the legislative branch of a county. The 3 county commissioners, and they're all equal in their voting power. So really, the sheriff would be the 4th most powerful person in the county, but the triumvirate of the county, they are the both executive and the legislative branch for that county. Now, there's going to be a judicial branch that's separate, but the police work for the executive branch. Now, unanimous consent is all I would accept from my county government. You only got 3 people. If you can't get 3 assholes to agree on something, then how in the fuck are you going to get a family of 5 or a business of 10 or a jury of 12 to make any sort of unanimous consent on anything? You need unanimous consent, unanimous agreement. This goes to the heart of our republic. Do we know how to run our democracy or not? And if there's a 2-1 or a 2-0 split decision, I'd view that with a ton of suspicion. Wait, There's 3 of you and only 2 of you voted. The other person wasn't even there. Wait, there's 3 of you and 2 of you voted on the one, and the one said no, and you just kept on going anyways. That's what the hell is going on there. Push for consensus. It's not always possible. If you got some Mitch McConnell fucking filibuster and prick, well, fuck that person. But if you got a good faith person, a good faith actor, a good faith, they're there because they want to make the world a better place or make their county a better place. Again, if 3 asshole county leaders can't agree on something, then you're the leaders. You're the leaders of that county. If 3 asshole county leaders can't agree on something important, then it probably shouldn't go through. But again, since you're the leaders, how can you expect anybody, a family of 5, business of 10, or a jury of 12 to be able to agree on anything? Also, I think all the commissioner meetings should be posted online if they're not already doing that. The 3 county commissioners are the main local leaders for Colorado County, most especially for all the unincorporated land and all the statutory cities and towns and villages. Pagosa Springs is home rule, so technically the sheriff nor the rest of the county doesn't have jurisdiction there, but it's up to the local officials of the village of Pagosa Springs and Archuleta County, population 13,000, 12% poverty rate respectively, to work out whatever agreement they have amongst themselves. If I don't have many village police, then I'd probably, maybe not, maybe so, I don't know, want the county police around. But ultimately, the Pagosa Springs police are the ones that have jurisdiction in Pagosa Springs, and they could tell the county to fuck off if they want to also. And the state and the feds, for that matter. Pagosa Springs is home rule. Some people think it's the feds, the state, then local, but I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's local, then state, then the feds. And so therefore, Pagosa Springs, they're a home rule, right? They're one of 100 home rule cities in Colorado. There's other census-designated places: Arboles, Chimney Rock, Cromo, Juanita, Chimney Rock, Arbolos. Okay, so there's like 4 other cities in Archuleta County besides Pagosa Springs. The courthouse of Archuleta County is silly looking. The windows don't go up high enough on the second floor. Just a big flat pancake facade. Is that where the $50 million went? That's not. No, that doesn't make sense. Alvin Schaaf, deputy sheriff. Is he still the deputy sheriff at the Archuleta County Sheriff's Office at Pagosa Springs? United States District 3. Schaaf. Alvin Schaaf. This is Alvin Schaaf's words. So in Alvin Schaaf's words, I'm a Colorado native. I grew up in La Plata County, and after graduating high school, I worked at construction starting in 1993. My wife, Terry, and I were married in 1995. We lived in Archuleta County several times over the years, but moved to Archuleta County permanently in 2005. We chose to raise our children in this community. In 1995, I started helping on my in-laws' cattle ranch in Cromo and continued to work there. I started with the Archuleta County Sheriff's Office in 2007, starting as a patrol deputy and working my way up from corporal to sergeant in charge of the jail. During this time, I also served as an arrest control instructor as well as a firearms instructor and firearms range master. Since 2005, I volunteered for our local 4-H as well as serving 10 years on the Western Heritage Event Center Red Rider Board. Sincerely, Alvin Schaaf. So, big thing with Alvin Schaaf is he wears that big cowboy hat, right? So he looks the part, right? But look at Uvalde, right? Look at Uvalde. Just because you wear a cowboy hat, that's, he does wear one, so that's something, right? But he could be a midnight cowboy too, so you gotta, He's the chair, also the 3 county commissioners. That means Alvin Schaaf is the top dog. He's the number 1 guy of the 3 county commissioners. That means he's just like Tyler Ratzlaff and John Knopfsker race in Rio Grande County. Veronica Medina is challenging the chair of Archuleta County. Veronica Medina is challenging the top dog of the 3 county commissioners. Technically, they all should be the same, but is Alvin Schaaf still a police officer? I wonder, because he said that he was a deputy sheriff at Archuleta County. Alvin Schaaf he does wear a cowboy hat, so there is that. Commissioners versus the sheriff. Both are the executive branch. Being a cop and a commissioner actually should make things a lot easier. While I said before that a sheriff can arrest a president, that's true. A president can arrest a sheriff too. In Colorado, with citizens arrest law, everybody can arrest everybody. You witness a crime, you can arrest that person. Now, Wayne Brandt is right that as sheriff you can deputize everybody, and that's how you can get a safe community, by deputizing everybody and listening to their citizens' arrest. Wayne Bryant needs to bring all 14,000 Archuletan Countyans together at the local amphitheater for the fall and the decline of the Roman Empire speech. Alvin Schaaf said he was taking it by a water hose when he was first elected. He said there was a huge learning curve. But he's also said that nobody's told him that he's done a terrible job, so there's that too. But when he first began, right, he was taking it by the water hose. So now that real estate guy, that Martin guy, he had mentioned something about short-term rentals, and I'm not for sure what's going on with that, but he's a real estate guy, so short-term rentals I think would be competition. And apparently Pagosa Springs, they tried to tax the small term rentals out of existence with a $150 per month per room tax, and then it was earmarked for road maintenance fees. If people are going to pay $150 per month per room tax, then, maybe they're making some good money. But apparently those short-term rentals, there's noise complaints, and, their competition for big real estate. I wonder, it was big real estate that made collecting rainwater illegal. Now, Alvin said it's historically been a poor county, but that's not totally true. Archuleta, the poverty rate in Archuleta County is actually lower than Costilla and Conejos County. In Archuleta County, the poverty rate is 12%, which could be better, but Costilla and Conejos County is 20 to 30%. I don't really like the interview. I don't like the format. Martin kept on asking Alvin, what's he going to change? What are you going to change? You going to change things? What are you going to change? What are you going to change? What are you going to change? And then Alvin just kind of took each question, one by one. And he kept on saying, well, boy, that's a tough one. Well, we're still struggling with that. It's all a big struggle. No shit. No, the two biggest issues, said Alvin, is, housing and gravel. There's only one gravel pit in the southwest corner of Archuleta County. It doesn't keep up with all the road maintenance in Archuleta County, most especially with the price of gasoline at $5 a gallon. He was saying Baca County's got a bunch of straight roads on flat surfaces. That's what Alvin Schaaf was saying. So it's easier to them to, for Baca County to go ahead and pave all their damn roads. Meanwhile, Archuleta County has a bunch of unpaved roads with no gravel, no asphalt, no tarmac. He also says that there's Forest Service roads which need gravel on them too. Uvalde cops, don't forget with them Uvalde cops, they just stood there. Now, he had mentioned that there were some controversial decisions, but Alvin Schaaf didn't get into what those were. Martin had said some folks in Archuleta County want no change, as if it's the craziest thing in the world. Maybe that's why Martin was so big on, so what are you going to change? What are you going to change? You going to change something? You going to change something? Hey, what are you going to change? Change is inevitable. So I think you got to roll with the punches somewhat. But to keep, what do you like about the thing? That's what they're saying is like, if you do this and then it all goes to shit, oh my God. Alvin Schaaf said no to raising property taxes, but he was considering raising sales taxes by a penny because he says it's just 1 penny. 1 penny, and then, that could help with a bunch of stuff. He was also talking about how property taxes, 30% of those property taxes go to the county and the rest go to the state. Now, there's two main leadership styles in government. Either they're being pushed by the people or they're leading the people. Either they're conduits, vessels for policy, or they're in front dictating to the rest of us what's best. And I think Alvin Schaaf is the first one. He's more of a conduit, a vessel for policy. But I don't know who's pushing them and where, how far they're able to get him to do what's best. Now, Alvin Schaaf said that there's, they say sales tax is regressive, so he understands that's what they say. And they say that because sales taxes hit everybody, and so that hits the working class. But he's saying, well, that's a good thing because it's shared by everybody. 1 cent tax on a grocery bill won't break people. He's been steering change towards growth, so he's basically saying he sees the change, and as, I guess planning and zoning, he gets to approve and disapprove, but growth is, he's saying something about catering to the tourist industry. Basically, he sees kind of two groups of people. You got the tourist industries and the businesses who want to make all that money. And then you also got, the generations, the 5 plus generations of families and farmers and ranchers that are living there. So you got to respect the new people and you got to respect the older people. Alvin Schaaf was talking about the industry coming to Archuleta County. He said no to the computer chip industry and even no to mobile trailer park home construction. He says it was too expensive when you put it depends when you do the math with the price of fuel, having to truck everything in, and then when you sell it to truck it all out. He said no to computer chip industry and no to mobile trailer home constructions. Boy, oh boy, that was a tough one for him. The biggest thing Alvin Schaaf seems to be for is for private property rights, except the land use code. So actually, he doesn't respect private property rights. He's for private property rights for short-term rental places, but just not new residential. He mentioned that septic systems cost about $20,000 to $40,000. A brand new septic system, goddamn. So if you want to go move to Pagosa Springs, if you want to go move to Archuleta County, they're going to, hose you, with that damn septic system. And really, I bet you they got a bunch of dry, arid sand all over the place. So really, they got a bunch of bad lands. It'd probably be better if you just composted. But no, you got to pay $20,000 to $40,000 to get a septic system in there. And I think it's a way to keep the newcomers out. There's no telling the high crime rates out there either. Who's got $20,000 to $40,000 just lying around? The state doesn't designate short-term rentals as a commercial industry, so he kind of blamed the state a bit on that one. The Board of County Commissioners held a regular meeting February 5th, 2019. It's 3 years ago, over 3 years ago, noting County Commissioners Ronnie Mays, Steve Wadley, and Alvin Schaaf, Interim County Administrator Greg Schulte, County Attorney Todd Weaver, and Deputy Clerk and Recorder Tommy Bliss were present. Chairman Mays called the meeting to order at 1:30 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, disclosures, and/or conflicts of interest. Chairman Mays asked for any disclosures or conflicts of interest between the board and the agenda. There were none. Y'all got to vote for Sol Sandoval, the working class Chicana. I think she'll be pretty sensible. She doesn't really communicate with the people. I don't know why. I think she'll be fine in U.S. Congress, but she could be like a Biden. She could just be an important middle stepping stone. Alvin Schaaf for commissioner at gmail.com is his email. Now the division functions of the commissioners. The commissioners are elected at large from one of 3 geographic districts for 4-year staggered terms. As the governing body of the county, the Board of County Commissioners, the BOCC, establishes the vision and sets the direction for the county government to plan for the future challenges that face our community. Archuleta County's 3-member Board of County Commissioners has a responsibility to provide leadership to county operations through the adoption of the annual budget, which includes all departments, commissions, and other spending agencies funded by county appropriations, including law enforcement and human services duties. Other powers, authorities, responsibilities of the Board of County Commissioners include, but are not limited to, the following: levy taxes subject to state tax revenue limitations, enter into contracts and receive grants and gifts, approve intergovernmental agreements, resolutions, and ordinances, accurate and timely reporting to state and federal agencies as required, make appointments to various community boards and commissions, care for county property, including the acquisition and disposal of county property, act as the Board of Equalization, liquor licensing, road and bridge construction, maintenance and repair, adoption of subdivision regulations, weed control, commissioner meetings. Archuleta County Commissioners have work sessions, and they're held every Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. at the Administration Building at 398 Lewis Street. These sessions are when the commissioners can come together and discuss any topic for staff to inform them of any items that may be of interest, future consideration. The Archuleta County Board meets on the first and third Tuesday of every month at 1:30 p.m. at the same location. These regular Board of County Commissioners meetings are when the board will make decisions on the items brought before them. Archuleta County Commissioner for District Number 3. Meet Rachel. Sunshine. Meet Rachel Sunshine, sir. Yes, sir, I'll meet Rachel Sunshine, sir. Archuleta County Commissioner candidate raised near Chicago. I also spent much of my youth with my father in Mississippi on the family property. After graduating from Carroll University with a dual degree in political science and religious studies, I started multiple businesses and have become an experienced entrepreneur. In 2020, my husband Michael and I chose to raise our 2 children in the tranquility of Pagosa Springs. I believe that philanthropy breeds community and often participate in community and church volunteering, fundraising, and other charity efforts, as well as See, I'm a trustee for Chimney Rock Interpretive Association, the nonprofit partner with the U.S. Forest Service for Chimney Rock National Monument. Meetings are conducted in person at the administrative building located at 398 Lewis Street. Whenever possible, meetings will be broadcast online via Zoom, which can be accessed from a computer or phone with internet access. The county does not and cannot guarantee internet service or online broadcasting. Remote attendance is at the risk of the attendee, as public meetings will continue in person regardless of the county's broadcast capability. Please look for a Zoom link on the meeting agenda in order to access the meeting from a computer or telephone.